Hello, welcome to Baking Show.
We're calling it baking show?
I don't know. We're gonna make Claire's crispy mushroom galette. It looks like this.
Or hers looks like that. We're making crispy mushroom galette. You don't know what that is? Neither do we.
Watch us how we do it. Hi.
We
are
going
to
make
Claire's
mushroom
crispy. Follow us and watch how we do it.
I don't know, where are they following? That doesn't
Join
make any
us.
sense.
We made something really sweet last time and we were supposed to share it with friends and we ate the whole thing.
We ate it all.
This week we said let's make something that we can just eat for dinner, and also let's make something that doesn't take 2 days to make. We're gonna make the dough first because it needs to chill in the fridge for an hour.
So the first thing you do is you check your bowl for any dog hairs. No, got one.
Add your dry
ingredients,
which is the flour,
boom, the
sugar, boom, baking powder,
boom,
boom, salt, boom. Incorporate those dry ingredients.
Oh yeah. Then you create a little well. 6 tablespoons of oil. And this is a flaky olive oil dough. I think that's 6.
We're gonna mix the olive oil into the dry ingredients. We'll form this into crumbly bits.
And you don't want anything larger than a pea, it says. We got a 1/4 cup of ice water. I think you're back to the fork.
Oh, incorporation station.
Now you're trying to knead the dough, trying to put it together in a nice, fun-sized ball. This is coming together really nicely.
Yeah.
We're pretty close to where we are now.
Good.
About a 1/2 inch thick in a square. Again, don't want to knead too much. We'll just wrap this tightly. I don't think we want to knead too much.
And we just put this in the fridge?
Yeah, for an hour. Okay, it's time to start cooking the leeks first. So I turn this bad boy on over medium heat. Got a little olive oil. Now I never measure it out, but since I'm following the recipe, boom, that's 1 tablespoon and 2. So we let that come to a simmer. So I already cut these. Basically it's a leek. You use the light green to the white part of the leek. The olive oil is still moving pretty viscous, so it's cold. Sometimes I think making other people's work entertaining is more difficult than writing. Still not simmering, so you just sit and wait. So how you can test to see if it's simmering is you can throw a little leek in there. Makes no noise. It's not simmering. Yeah, so we wait.
Stop it again.
Oh, that's the problem.
Oh my god.
I have the wrong burner on. I'm gonna test it. Throw a couple little leeks. Ooh, you hear that?
Ooh.
That's nice. We'll add the rest of them. Boom. You don't want to burn your leeks. You want to just get them nice and soft and tender. And it's been about 4 minutes, so I think it's time to just reduce this bad boy to low heat. About 15 to 20 minutes on low heat. Here goes the mustard. Little salt, little pepper. We're gonna mix this up and then put it in this bowl over here.
Now I'm gonna do the mushrooms. I've cut the mushrooms into about like 1 inch pieces. So I'm gonna let this olive oil shimmer. Then I'm gonna add the mushrooms. And
I think it's supposed to be simmer.
She says shimmer.
Well, how does?
And then I'm gonna add half of my mushrooms, not all of them, because we want them to get a little crisp. And if there's too many on top of each other, they will not get crisp.
Ah.
Ooh, it looks like it's shimmering. Okay, I'm gonna add half of my mushrooms.
Oh, look at that sound. That's
Listen
good
to
sound.
that baby purr. Along with my mushrooms, I'm gonna add a sprig of rosemary and 2 of the mashed garlic cloves. And what she says to do is just give it a little go around to make sure all the mushrooms are coated in the olive oil. And then we're gonna let the mushrooms sit unbothered for about 3 minutes or so that one side of them can get nice and brown.
You're supposed to flip the mushrooms.
It hasn't been 3 minutes yet. Listen. I have not been keeping track of 3 minutes.
I think it's been about 2.5 minutes.
Okay, so in 30 seconds, then I'm gonna toss these mushrooms occasionally for about another 5 to 8 minutes. So they are tender and their juices are flowing out of them.
Gross.
It's a beautiful thing. You know, the funny thing about mushrooms is how much they shrink once they're being cooked. It's really funny that they do that. It's time to toss. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna do this.
Why didn't you toss them?
I don't know how to do that. These mushrooms juices have been released. They're nice and brown. I'm calling this done.
Woo.
I'm gonna add some of our diamond kosher salt and some of our pep. I'm gonna do the exact same thing for the other half of the mushrooms. Now it's time to roll out the dough.
Yeah. Shiny. That's all the oil. Hopefully we have enough. Press it down, start rolling it out.
We want to make this dough about 1/8 of an inch thick and as square as possible.
I don't think it has to be a square. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Is it in the instructions, Pat?
Yeah, but...
Is it on the instruction, Pat? He doesn't like to listen to women.
That's it.
This is our 1/4 inch thick square shape. Now what we're gonna do is brush the entire top of this with olive oil. Because we're gonna fold this into layers and it's gonna give it a nice crispy, flaky crust.
Ideally, when you're making it, it becomes square, but we'll see how ours does. We'll do that, and we're gonna roll it again. And I think you can, yeah, that looks fine.
Once we're finished with this step, we put it back in the plastic wrap because we're gonna let it sit in the fridge again for another half hour. Time to roll out that dough. I'm gonna grate some garlic for the toppings that we'll need later.
So this dough is pretty crumbly. Like it's not all, you see, and I think that's gonna be good. Hopefully it'll translate to flakiness. Kind of having a difficult time. I don't know why it has me put everything in a square and then in the last minute it's like, oh, round it out.
We want this dough to be 12 inches in diameter.
Yeah? Yeah.
We put the leeks on first and we leave a 1 1/4 inch around for the crust. Now, believe it or not, it's time to do the same thing with the mushrooms, girl. FYI, we have been preheating the oven since we started cooking the mushrooms, I believe.
Yeah.
Wow, this is a ton of mushrooms. You're supposed to use like this, she says, and like fold it, pleat it.
Oh, like into it.
I don't know.
Fold the sides of the pastry up and over the mushrooms?
So typical of me to do things the right way the first time. And then we brush it with olive oil. Brush, brush, brush. Keep that pastry crisp. So we had the oven preheated to 350. We put the galette in for 45 to 50 minutes. We'll
55.
check.
45 to 55.
We put the galette in. We're going to keep it in there for 45 to 55 minutes. So we will check it.
50 minutes.
Brian! We had the galette. We had the oven preheating for. We had you say it. No, they can't see you over there. The oven was preheating at 350, so we put the galette in for 45 to 55 minutes. We will check it at around the 45-minute mark and see where we are. Now we're gonna crisp up the crispy bits, which is the nutritional yeast, the panko, the rosemary leaves, and the grated garlic, and we're going to crisp that up on the stove with some olive oil.
Did you already grate the garlic?
Yeah.
Hey.
I'm gonna grate some garlic for the toppings that we'll need later. Listen, this took us an hour and 15 minutes to bake, and we still don't know if the crust, well, it's hard.
I mean, I
It
think
just doesn't look as golden brown as hers does in the pictures, the
Right.
thing.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and sprinkle the toppings on. We had to do the toppings twice because I did burn the first batch. Let's taste this.
Okay, let's see how well it cuts. How well the crust cuts. 'Cause I have a feeling it's just going to be a crumbled mess,
we're
but we'll
afraid
see what
that
happens.
I'm afraid it's raw. This is a finished product. We're a little afraid the crust isn't done, but now that it's been out of the oven and cooled, it's harder than I thought it would be.
We'll see.
Get a taste. I really like all the filling. The dough tastes like pie dough, and I thought it was gonna be flaky. Like, I like it. I love the inside.
The leeks are great.
I just wonder if we did the dough, something we did wrong.
Yeah, we gotta try this dough again. I don't know if we can. Is that minimum focus?
It's more of an appetizer and less of a dinner. Like of a light brunch.
I don't know when you would eat a Galette. It's the first time I've ever had one.
No, it's not. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
We're gonna link to the book so you can get the recipe for your dang self.